Well, if you want your chance to see world number one, world number two go head-to-head, you have your opportunity to do so at the Optum Golf Channel Games coming up December 17th. That is a Wednesday at Trump National Golf Club up in Jupiter. Colin Russo is with you on ESPN 106.3. We're at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, having a great time today. I'd like to welcome in a special guest. He's the executive director of the said Optum Golf Channel Games. Jeff Kleiber joins us now. Jeff, welcome in. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Colin. Thanks for having me.
So, Jeff, this is year one of the Optum Golf Channel Games. So tell me a little bit about what sort of came about this. Where did this brainchild start?
It really started with how do you replicate the NFL Pro Bowl Challenge, the NBA All-Star Saturday night for golf. So how do you get a skills-based event for golf that culminates and kind of puts the exclamation point on the golf season? So it started with Rory, started with Scottie, and when you're starting from those two spots, it can only go grow to big things, which it has for us.
So people listening, they think, all right, Wednesday night golf event. What the heck's going on there? And then you mentioned, all right, Pro Bowl, NBA Saturday All-Star break. This is not going to be your traditional golf event. What's going to be different about it?
Under the lights, and it's 5 skills-based, fast-paced, competitions. 3 of the 5 challenges have a clock involved, either counting down or counting up. And it'll be a small footprint at Trump Jupiter. So 2 of the challenges are on the driving range practice area. 2 of the challenges are at 18. And then the third challenge is we're just playing the first and ninth hole. So really intimate footprint, which allows the spectators on site to be able to, see it all, be close to the top players in the world and their friends who are going to be joining them on Team Scottie and Team Rory.
So, yeah, it's not just Scottie and Rory going
Correct.
head-to-head.
Yeah.
They got basically a team to each their own right, correct?
Correct. So Team Rory is, his best friend Shane Lowry, his captain Luke Donald from the Ryder Cup, and a great up-and-coming player, Hao Tong Lee, who's just a riot. He played with Scottie in the last group at the Open this year, and I think people will learn to love him, and he just earned his PGA Tour card for this coming season. So great addition to our team. And then Team Scottie is his best friend Sam Burns, his captain Keegan Bradley, and then one of the local players here, Luke Clanton, so who's a really up-and-coming star on the PGA Tour.
So you were trying to inject a new sort of flavor to how golf can be ingested, because this is a night event. This is doors open, in the evening?
Yep.
Doors open at 5 o'clock. What time does the event start?
The competition starts at 7:30. The broadcast starts at 7. So just like an NFL Sunday, you got a pregame show, postgame show. Competition will be basically from 7:30 to about 10:30 between the 5 challenges.
And it's going to be up there at Trump National. You could go, you could get general admission tickets, or you could get their additional packages that gives you more when you want to get, let's say, an extended type of deal in a ticket, correct?
Correct. There's 3 different ticket types. There's the Grand Ballroom experience, the Premium Patron experience, and then a grounds ticket. So 3 different ways to come out and enjoy a great evening under the stars.
And one thing I want to sort of kind of dive into, people here are, you said challenges. You said challenges under the lights, not in a lot of different holes on the golf course. For the golf fan listening, all right, challenges how? A team versus team, what are they going to be competing in?
So there's 5 different challenges. There's a driving challenge. Again, clock will be counting down. They'll hit 5 drives in 2 minutes. If they get all 5 drives in, they can hit a 6th drive, which would be the money ball that doubles all the points. They're hitting into a grid that'll be marked off where, this distance is worth 1 point, this distance is 2, this distance is 3, and then if you hit it down the middle there, points would double. So the players are trying to get as many points as they can with the time allotted. So the other uniqueness of each challenge is there's going to be a little bit of match play in it. So we'll flip a coin at the start of that driving challenge. One side of the coin's got an R, one side of the coin has an S. Team Rory, if they, comes up R, they get the first pick. So Rory may say, hey, I'm going to put Shane Lowry up. Scottie then says, I'm going to put Sam Burns against him. Next match, Scottie picks first. So kind of a snake draft. So there's head-to-head to it, and then obviously the team competition, somewhat like a Ryder Cup, where each match within, some of the challenges, count for a point to determine who wins that challenge. So we're trying to inject the team part of it, but also like, hey, I want to see, Scottie versus, Hao Tong Lee in a, driving competition. I want to see, Rory versus Luke Donald, in a short game challenge. So the first 2 challenges are at the driving range, driving, and then short game, which is starts at the chipping, and then you drive a golf cart across the range to the putting area. And the putting truly is just like the 3-point contest of the NBA All-Star Game. The 3 balls at different distances, 5, 10, 15, and 50 feet. The third ball, that'll be a colored ball, is worth, double points, just like the striped ball at the NBA All-Star Game. So those are their first 2 challenges, and then from there we go to the first and 9th hole where it'll be timed shootout. Think of a relay race. So Rory tees off, Shane's in the fairway waiting for that ball to land somewhere.
He's already in the fairway.
He's already in the fairway.
With his club in hand.
Yeah, maybe a couple clubs, because depending on where the ball lands, it might be.
Because if Rory screws up and he's in the bunker, wow, I like that. That looks like I'm sure the players are going to love that.
They're going to love it. We've rehearsed this a number of times over the last few months, and the players that we've had as part of those rehearsals, that's the one they love the most. That's like, oh, we did it in 40 seconds. Let's do it again. How do we do it in 35 seconds?
And then so Shane will hit the second shot. And then
the other 2 players are at the green, and they'll chip and putt it until the ball's in the hole, and that's when the clock stops, and that's your posted time. And feeding into what we learned in the rehearsals, we know they're going to want to do it again. So they'll play the first hole, the 9th hole, and then we'll do it again. But the different people will be playing, the different spots. So like Rory will only tee off first once. Each player, because we'll play it 4 times, will be the person that hits the drive. So there'll be some even probably inner, team competition. Like, oh, I hit the drive better than Rory hit the drive. Like, hey, Rory, why couldn't you get it to where, Shane could hit it, where he didn't have to sprint 20 yards, and be winded when he hit the shot to the green. But that one I think is going to really resonate well on TV. We've got a nice setup with some LED boards on those 2 holes where we're going to have some suggested areas where the fans can go and be able to consume both holes because they're right next to each other. They're parallel holes. So that's the 3rd challenge. And then the last 2 challenges happen at 18. And so, again, for the fans, it's easy. We got 2 challenges at the driving range. We got 2 challenges at 18. So find your spot where you want to watch everything. The challenges that are at 18, we're going to do a 14 club challenge where we'll have a bag. Once the 7-iron's used, it's out of everybody's bag, and they'll alternate between the 2 teams.
So it's a little bit of an elimination.
Yeah, and so likely the last 2 clubs in the bag are driver and putter. How are you going to get your driver and putter from 150 yards to stay on the green to earn the point for your team? So that one has been done before, and we've got some nuances that we're adding to it. There'll be a left-handed shot that gets thrown in at the end to see these guys' true skill.
Yeah.
So that's our 4th challenge, and the last one is what everybody wants: Rory versus Scottie. So their teammates become their coaches and their supporters inside the ropes. But 10 different spots, starting at 200 yards in closest to pin contest between Rory and Scottie, and that's how the golf season will end, and pretty fun way.
Jeff Kleiber, the executive director of the Optum Golf Channel Games, coming up December 17th up there in Jupiter. So stay tuned on where you can get your tickets and where you can get involved because tickets are still available now. Jeff, you said a couple things there that I'm interested in. Number 1, points. Win points for your team. All right, team's going to win at the end. How are you going to organize? All right, they win. They win what? How are you going to acknowledge who the winner is? What goes into that?
Yeah, so, obviously some of our inspiration was, NBA All-Star Saturday night from a skills perspective. Also, some of our inspiration is the Olympics. So that's why it's called the Optum Golf Channel Games, just like Olympic Games. The analogy I always use when we talk about the evening, in this way is think of gymnastics. You've got somebody who wins the balance beam. You've got somebody who wins the floor exercise as a individual event, but then you also have the team that wins the overall. So there'll be individual winners of the 5 challenges, and then there'll be an overall team winner, and everybody will get medals. So like in my mind,
An Olympic ceremony.
Yeah, like in my mind, I'm envisioning somebody out there that's got 4 medals or something like that around their necks because of their performance in the different challenges and then being on that winning team. So we've got a beautiful, Optum Golf Channel Games medal that's been designed and it's being produced. That'll be part of that ceremony at the end of the telecast.
Are you planning for it to be a little different in terms of how the players are, how you could watch them, whether on TV or in person? Are they going to be mic'd up, talking, sort of a la TGL, where you could hear them kind of talk to each other and strategize, or is it going to be a little bit more PGA-like where it's quiet, there's a little bit of an edge to it? What's sort of the environment with the players going to be?
We're hoping the environment's high energy, and I think it's a blend at times of a TGL live experience with DJ and music leading up to the telecast. But when the telecast comes, the focus definitely is on the players, the competitions. They're going to be together the whole time. It's not like Rory's team's playing this challenge and Scottie's over here doing this challenge. Those 8 players are going to be together and
Talking with each other,
they're
too.
going to be talking to their teammates. They're going to be talking to their opponents. They're going to be like, I can't wait till the first guy doesn't land one of their drives in the grid on the first one. It's going to be like, what are you doing? It's
going to be the
easy.
first
Just
one to
hit
screw
it,
up.
hit
That's
it,
what they're
hit it
waiting
between
for.
the trees.
First
Come
one to
on.
screw
It
up.
looks
Who's
so
that going to
easy.
be?
Exactly.
Will they be mic'd up?
All 8 players will be mic'd up.
Wow. So you'll be able to hear that. Is that going to be on TV especially?
It's going to be especially on TV. We're going to play with the sound on site because we want that on-site experience to be a strong one too. So it may be, kind of a low hum, that's directed to where, the grandstands are. We're building a grandstand on the driving range. We're building a grandstand at 18. So I think in those areas, the sound will be a little bit more, easy for the on-site patron to hear. But again, a lot of that sound is meant for that TV, the coach experience versus the on-site experience.
Well, if you're on site, it's interesting because you're not playing around a whole course, right?
Exactly.
You don't have to meet somebody at the 16th tee box and then you try to run over to the 18 or something like that. You got 2 or 3 holes and then the driving range.
Yeah,
So this is going to be sort of, in a good way, intimate and on top of each other.
Yeah, if you're looking to get to your step count for the day, you're not going to get it.
Not a
at this
traditional
event.
golf
Yeah,
event. That
yeah. You're not going to walk 7 miles if you wanted to watch the whole event. You're basically going from the driving range to 18, which is a few hundred yards at Trump Jupiter.
Is the goal to be a little bit more of an intimate environment from that in-person perspective?
100%. That's where we're trying to be very strategic this first year of having the right crowd size, so it's a good experience because we want to be able to do this event for multiple years, and really build something that's special part of the golf season.
And in year one of this is planning on being every year, this time of year. Is it always going to be at Trump National?
I think that's where we'll see. We've got multi-year agreements with a lot of the people involved, and the beauty of the Trump Golf Organization is it Jupiter one year, West Palm the next. Obviously, this time of year, you're probably not taking this up north, but right now the thought is let's build something special at Jupiter and see how long we can do it.
I think one of the best parts about an event like this is, especially in golf, a lot of these guys are friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the good news is, remember, last time we really saw Keegan Bradley next to Sam Burns, next to Scottie Scheffler, with Shane Lowry across the green, with Rory right there and Donald right there. It's the Ryder Cup.
Yep.
And that necessarily didn't end well for the United States, but it was still an intense, you could hear a pin drop type of event. This is going to kind of loosen it up a little bit because we haven't seen a lot of these guys together since that time, right?
Or not at all. I think there's some folks playing this week at the Hero, and then other, at Rory's at the Australian Open.
Because this time of year, this is where they just do whatever tournament
Exactly.
they want.
Yep.
They just bounce around because it's not necessarily, it's not major season or anything like that.
Yeah, the last time Rory and Scottie were together on a golf course, Scottie won one up at the Ryder Cup.
Wow. How about that? And so December 17th, and a night event too is interesting as well, because this is not like you got to set aside your entire Saturday because you got to be the first one in there. This is, you could go after work and you could go on a Wednesday night, whether with the family or friends,
Yep.
and you're in and out in a couple hours. So it's more of that arcade type. It's like you're going to a basketball game at night,
100%. It's just what I was
That
thinking.
was sort of the idea.
Yeah.
It's like going to a
Yep.
basketball game. On a Wednesday night, you're going to, you're a Wisconsin guy,
Yeah.
going to the Kohl Center to watch the Wisconsin Badgers play basketball, and that's your 3-4 hours of the night, and that's sort of it. That was sort of the brainchild behind this as well, as to be a night kind of commutable type of event.
100%. The thought behind this has always been build something that's special to, be in this community, be, kind of at the end of that golf season, the way to have a period or exclamation point to the season, and the right time to do it. This time of year is, that the middle of the week, because football dominates right now.
Especially that time of year.
That time of year. And so I think this might be one of the few days in December that the NFL or college football aren't playing. So it's a perfect spot for us. NBA actually is even off that night because the Cup concludes the day before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great timing. So you're a TV schedule guy. You know what I'm
Exactly.
See, I love following that stuff too.
That's where the Golf Channel guys' brains come into this. They're always looking at a programs guide.
And you got 5 challenges at the Optum Golf Channel Games, which is, again, coming up December 17th at Trump National Golf Club up in Jupiter. Talking now with Jeff Kleiber, the executive director of the event. The time drive competition, the time short game competition, the 14 club challenge, the time shootout, and the captain's challenge. Which one do you think will be the most competitive shot-for-shot event of the 5?
I really like the short game challenge because one of the nuances there is one of the players will start on one of the teams. So let's just say it's Rory starts at the chipping, and he's got 5 chips. He gets points depending on if he's 10 feet, 5 feet, 3 feet, or puts it in the hole, at 5 different locations, including a loft wall that they have to get it over. From there, they jump in a golf cart, and he drives across the driving range.
Which is just going to be a crazy sight to see.
Drives across the driving range, and then he starts his putting. The person he's playing against on Scottie's team starts the chipping while he's putting. And so, you're going to have action on both sides of the range, happening kind of at the same time. So I'm fascinated on how that'll work. I think there'll be some great competition of that second guy is going to kind of know the score he needs to get, as he's trying to race through the chipping and then goes to the putting. Does the heart rate, ratchet up, knowing oh, wait a second, Rory's posted this score. I now all of a sudden need to make one of these 350-footers to beat him. So I think that one's going to be interesting. I think for TV, the time shootout's going to be so much fun. When we rehearsed it, I think I said this. That was the one that everybody loved. 40 seconds. I want to do it now in 35 seconds. How do I get it better? So I think those two probably for me are the most intriguing for different reasons.
And you mentioned TV a couple of times. Where are we going to be able to watch this event?
So live on the Golf Channel and USA Network. So simulcast on both of those networks. That's where you can watch it. And then the great thing is if you're on site, it's going to be replayed 5 different times over the holidays on Golf Channel. So it'll be replayed immediately that night, the next morning, Christmas Day, New Year's Day. Come on out and watch it live and in person, and then catch it on one of the re-airs.
Where can fans go get tickets?
GolfChannelGames.com. And like you've mentioned, there's 3 different tickets out there. There's one that's full hospitality, grand ballroom, great experience. We're going to have a 9-foot by 32-foot LED board in the ballroom where you can catch all the action and enjoy all the hospitality. There's a ticket that we call the Premium Patron Package that has all the food that you need for the night. And then there's a ticket that's just simple grounds, gets you on site, and then you kind of choose your own adventure from there.
I wanted to get your thoughts on this too. Lastly here, one thing that the top golfers in the world have done recently, last 5 or 10 years especially, and they've always been interested, they're intrigued about these type of events. I mean, you've seen the TGL, you see this event, the Optum Golf Channel Games. You have that. You have all these different events that they do throughout the year that are a little bit more away from the traditional golf side. Yep. And I think that's been such an open change of pace that you probably wouldn't have seen from golfers 20 years ago.
100%.
25 years ago.
Yep.
Maybe a little too self-serious 25 years ago. And now I think people can realize that when you add a little arcadey type of vibe to golf, and you add a clock especially, playing against the clock is, everybody knows there's that one person who takes 16 minutes on their tee drive. Nonetheless, I think the fact that the top golfers in the world are interested, they want to be involved in stuff like this, they could play competitively in these environments, I think it adds such a new and fun and intriguing element of golf that we haven't had in the last 5 or 10 years.
It truly is. I mean, I think it's a little bit of, the team competition that TGL has definitely put a spotlight on it. Again, simulator golf versus, your traditional golf course, people are open to that. I also think the YouTubers and influencers out there that are having so much fun in those spaces, I think the pros are a little bit jealous of it. And so this gives them the opportunity to do things like that in their environment. It's very competitive. It's very well organized. It's going to be distributed in places that they know and trust. So I think there's that element of it
That's a good point. Yeah.
Just allows them to to have some fun and do something different.
Well, Jeff, we appreciate you giving us a little bit of a rundown of what to expect at the Optum Golf Channel games coming up December 17th at Trump National Golf Club in Jupiter. I like what you said about, you see the YouTubers doing all these games, and the pros are getting a little jealous of it. But they're thinking, hold on, we could set up events left and right. Exactly. So that's exactly what they're doing. Jeff, we appreciate it. Looking forward to this event coming up in just here a couple weeks, coming up fast.
It is coming up fast.
2 weeks from yesterday.
Appreciate you having me, Colin.
Of course, that's Jeff Kleiber, the executive director of the Optum Channel Golf Games. It's Colin Russo on ESPN 106.3.